I'm doing a UFC 305 breakdown or prediction for the main card. I was gonna do prelims, but I decided I don't want to talk about the prelims for an hour or so. I already made my picks for the prelims. You're gonna see it whenever I stream the fight. I'm gonna make a breakdown for it. I just didn't want to talk about the prelims for about 30 minutes and then get to the main card. I'd rather just start with the main card immediately and just really focus on the important fights that people are most likely going to be betting on. So, Leach versus Carlos Pradas is the main one I'm choosing. Or it's the first fight on the main card, my bad. I'm going Pradas. I like Leach. He's always been one of my favorites, but recently he's just been out. He's been inactive. He's been injured. That's the problem. I'm fine with people being inactive. If you're consistently training, you're consistently doing this. He had a really bad back injury. That's why he's been inactive. It's not like he's been training the whole time, refining his skills. His whole game has gotten better. He's been out with an injury. It's a completely different thing from just training the whole time. I already don't like inactivity. I already hate when fighters aren't active. When you're inactive for an injury, it doesn't make me really confident in you when you're coming back and fighting. Leach is really good. He's really good. You don't want to count him out. He's a good fighter, underrated, but also inactive. And Carlos Pradas had a really good performance. I want to say against Charles Radke. I believe that's what it was. I believe it was the nasty knee to the body. Pradas is good. Good prospect. Really dangerous guy. You don't want to come back and have a striking fight with a really dangerous guy, which this fight will mostly stay standing. I believe Pradas has more range on him. Pradas is very fluid and natural, while Leach coming off a back problem and I'm pretty sure a bad surgery. I don't remember. Leach coming off a back problem. He's gonna be really stiff. He hasn't fought in almost like a year and a half. Pradas is he's gonna be riding the momentum. He's gonna be dangerous. He's gonna be looking good. He's gonna have more range, and he's gonna be a lot more fluid. Pradas' whole style is just built off fluidity, just basically outclassing you. He fights like Vinicius Oliveira, where his whole ability is he's built weird and he's built really lengthy, but he uses that really well to his advantage. He has good kicks. He's really fast, and he fights like a lengthy guy. He uses all those advantages he can get just from his length, and he puts it all together with fluidity, with good, fast leg kicks, with everything. I think he's going to hit Leach with a lot of leg kicks. I think he's going to slow him down a lot. Leach will already be slow. He's already going to look weird in this fight. And Pradas is just going to make that a lot worse for him. I'm going Pradas. Decision. Leach is tough. He's still a good fighter. Like I said, I think he's a good fighter. I just don't see him being able to bounce back from a year and a half and have a really good performance against a really good prospect who's been consistently fighting, who's had a good performance, and who's feeling himself. He's feeling the hype. I think Pradas is going to take this one. Decision, like I said, Leach is tough. It won't be a knockout. Pradas decision. Moving on to Taitui versus Rosenstrike. It's really sad to see the downfall of Taitui, but Rosenstrike's also my guy. I think if you watch the Gaziev versus Rosenstrike fight, if you actually sat there and watched that dog shit card just to see that main event, it's gonna be the exact same thing in my opinion. It's gonna be Rosenstrike just leg kicking, out jabbing, just really a technical showcase for Rosenstrike against Taitui. Taitui's not gonna knock him out. He's not going to be faster than him. He's not going to check the leg kicks. And I was thinking, oh, Rosenstrike, he's going to finish him. Rosenstrike always finishes people. He's going to finish him. I'm leaning towards decision again. I think this main card is going to have a decent amount of decisions. Rosenstrike could have finished Gaziev. I mean, like I said, if you watch the fight, Gaziev wasn't there. His stamina was cooked. He couldn't move. He literally quit in the fourth round of cardiac arrest. He quit because he couldn't breathe. and Rosenstruik couldn't finish him. Gaziev was looking for any way out that fight that he literally just quit because he was too tired, and he didn't finish him. It's gonna be the same thing where Tai Tui is just gonna walk forward. He's gonna eat a bunch of jabs, eat a bunch of straights. Rosenstruik's boxing is really good. He's a really good striker. He's a really good striker. He just doesn't have the urgency to push and knock people out. But he's a really good striker. He's just gonna out jab Tai Tui, out leg kick him. I don't remember what we saw. It was gone. It was gone. No, not gone. Volkov Tai Tui, where Volkov would just leg kick him, and honestly, just the lateral movements, it really just drew Tai Tui off his game. Rosenstruik has good movement. He's not gone. He's not gone or Volkov with his movement. But you don't need to be gone or Volkov. You just need to be Tybura. Apparently, because Tybura can finish Tai Tui in the first round. But, maybe Spivak's just that good. I don't know. Or maybe Tai Tui's just that ass. Like, I don't know. I don't care. Rosenstruik has the movement. He's going to stay on the outside. He's just going to 1-2 Tai Tui when he's coming in because Tai Tui's bad. He's really bad. Like, he's tough. I know he just got finished recently, but he is tough. Rosenstruik doesn't have that killer instinct in him. He's not going to finish Tai Tui. It's going to be a decision where it's just a pure outclass. 30-27. Tai Tui... Look, Tai Tui might actually do something good here. Because Rosenstruik, I don't know if you've noticed this, he has an ability to throw away a fight, to make a fight a lot harder than it has to be. If Tai Tui can catch him, maybe we can see a Tai Tui knockout, but I'm leaning a Rosenstruik decision. I think on a technical standpoint, on a better striking standpoint, you have to go Rosenstruik. I'm not gonna give you predictions or betting advice on what I think a fluke might happen. I'm gonna give you my decision, my betting advice. I'm gonna give it to you off pure just knowledge and who I think will win. And I'm not feeling a Tai Tui knockout. I'm not feeling a Tai Tui decision. I think Tai Tui's going to lose this, and I think he's going to fight Derek Lewis when he does, and that'll be the end of his career. As sad as it is to say, they're kind of setting up Rosenstruik for this matchup because Rosenstruik's just going to walk through him. It's a really good matchup for Rosenstruik. I think people know that. I think the only way you'd want to bet on Tai Tui is if he gets like a decision because he's going to be a huge underdog in my opinion. Rosenstruik decision. It's like I said, it's going to be a 30-27, just pure outclassing, 15 minutes. Rosenstruik, don't let me down. You make fights so much harder than it has to be. You literally handicap yourself. Do not let me down. Please. You're my guy. You're literally my guy. If you lose this fight, I have no faith in the rest of your career. Anyway, moving on to Gamrot Hooker. Gamrot. It's Gamrot. It's Gamrot's decision. Hooker's coming off an injury. He's coming off 2 broken arms. He came off a really bad knee surgery. Not recently. I think that he had the knee surgery before the Jalen Turner fight. I'm guessing the Jalen Turner fight didn't make it any easier. He's going to get out-wrestled. Gamrot is elite. I don't understand why people act like Gamrot's not. Okay, so Gamrot's elite in wrestling. His striking's kind of, But Gamrot's elite in wrestling. He got knocked down by RDA, which is kind of concerning. He got rocked. He got caught. But RDA looked a little juiced in that fight. And RDA is a good fighter. RDA is a good fighter. He's consistently good, which is really impressive. He's consistently good at his age. And he's given really everybody a problem. So I'm going Gamrot. He's going to out-wrestle Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's coming off too many injuries. I think Jalen Turner won the Dan Hooker fight. And Gamrot's not a retard, okay? Like, he's not going to make the fight harder for himself. Dan Hooker kind of thrives off people making stupid decisions. Like, Jalen Turner, in my opinion, if he kept his distance, he just kept 1-2ing fucking Dan Hooker, he would have won that fight. Instead, he wants to brawl, he wants to do random stuff, and make it a slugfest. Gamrot's not going to do that. Gamrot's going to take you down. He's going to come in with a good game plan, and he's just going to bring you to a place you've never. If you're a brawler, if you're a striker, you just don't want to fight Gamrot. Gamrot will literally just expose your wrestling. He'll take you down, and he'll keep you down. Honestly, if there's a big favorite for me on the card, if there's a favorite that I think will win no matter what, it's probably Gamrot. And this is another decision. Dan Hooker's not going to knock out Gamrot. Gamrot's not going to knock out Dan Hooker. It's just another decision. I want to say 29-28. I'm going to say 29-28 Gamrot. I think Dan Hooker will have a big moment. I don't know if he's going to knock him down, but Gamrot's striking's a little iffy sometimes. It's a little inconsistent. He's a good boxer. But his kicks can be his weakness. He's just a little... He's just inconsistent, man. Like, I've seen good performances. I think he's an elite level fighter. I think he should have been fought for a title long ago. And Dan Hooker is just kind of a layup. It's almost like punishment. It's like, Dan Hooker, you want to be on this card? You're going to be a layup for Gamrot so we can make his case. No, even though they don't want to give Gamrot a title shot because he's not interesting, he doesn't have an interesting style at all. It's like, we need Gamrot to fight someone. Dan Hooker, you're going to be the sacrifice. You're going to be slaughtered by Gamrot. But that's okay because you want it to be on the card. It's going to be Gamrot 29-28. Dan Hooker's going to not knock him down, but he's going to rock him with something. I'm sure of it. Gamrot always gets rocked with something. And then he just locks in and wrestles from there on out. It's kind of stupid, but it's how Gamrot fights. Moving on. Kai Kara France versus Steve Erceg. Y'all ready for another decision? No, I actually don't know. Literally mid-video, I'm going to decide whether it's a knockout or decision. In my opinion, this is a 50-50 matchup. People are underestimating Kai Kara completely. He beat Almir Albazi. He got robbed. The only thing... he was beating Brandon Moreno until he got body kicked. Which, I mean, yeah, you know... You can't really say this guy was beating this guy until he got knocked out. But sometimes that's just the case. He was piecing up Brandon Moreno. People don't give him credit for that. And then he got body kicked. He's a good fighter. As much as I don't really like him... As much as I don't really like the Israel Adesanya camp or anything like that, he's a good fighter. I think he'll do good, but I think Steve Erceg's going to out-decision him. It's not going to be a knockout. Kai Kara has the ability to put, like, real hands on people and just beat them up. He can't knock him out. Steve Erceg, he can knock people out. We know Steve Erceg can knock people out. But let's be honest, he knocked out Matt Schnell. He didn't knock out Pantoja because that's Pantoja. His chin is amazing. But the thing is, right? Pantoja can't strike at all. That's the reason he got hit with so much stuff. He has no defense. Watch any of his fights. Watch him versus Figgy. Him versus Moreno. He gets hit with almost everything. Kai Kara is a good defensive striker. Erceg's not going to be able to land all the power punches that he did on Pantoja. But if he does... I think it's possible he can put him to sleep, but I don't. I'm going 3-2 Erceg, or not 3-2 Erceg, that's fucking 5-round main event. 2-1 Erceg, 29-28. Again, he's just going to be a cleaner striker. He's going to be more fluid in there. I don't know how his mentality is going to be, because if you watched him after the Pantoja fight, he's like, oh, I let everybody down. I blew my chance. That was it. That was everything. When in all reality, I feel like that fight for Steve Erceg, win or lose, it made him a bigger name. People treat him like he's the real champ. People are excited to see him fight. I just hope he's mentally okay. I hope that he's not thinking he just blew his one shot and he's thinking, oh, if I win this, I can get my shot back because I already beat Pantoja or something like that. So I'm going Erceg, 29-28. Pretty comfortably. I think Kai Kara is going to try brawling with him, but Erceg has the range, and he has the power to back Kai Kara up or just keep distance from him. I think an Erceg knockout's possible, but like I said, Kai Kara is like a little fucking gremlin. He's got retard strength. He's not going to get knocked out, in my opinion. 29-28 Erceg. I hate going all decisions, but that's kind of what this card is. It's built for decisions. It's people who don't really have that finishing instinct in them, or if they do have that finishing instinct, it's against really tough people, so it's gonna lead to a decision either way. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Usyk 29-28. He's honestly, man, like Kaikari, he's just been out, and the reason he's been out is because of an injury. I already said I'm fine with people being out. I don't like when you're inactive, but if you're going to be inactive, at least train the whole time, at least be looking for fights. He was injured. He was supposed to fight Cop. He got injured. He's just now coming back. I don't think he's going to handle the spotlight. I don't think he's going to handle Steve Usyk. Steve Usyk's really fluid, really fast. You need to be active to fight Steve Usyk, in my opinion, and to be able to react to the stuff he's doing. I used to think he was horrible. I used to think Pantoja would dominate him. MMA, man, like let's see if Steve Usyk had a really good night against Pantoja and it was a fluke, or he really might be the future champion. Like, let's just see. I'm going Steve Usyk 29-28. Moving on to the main fight, the main event, and this could be the most boring fight on the card. It's Adesanya. Look, that's the reality of it, man. It could be the most boring fight on the card, and they might just give it to Izzy even if Dricus wins. Like, I hate to be that guy. I'm on Dick. I'm being really biased right now, but I honestly think Dricus will win this by decision. There's going to be no knockout. If the knockout happens, I'm going to be a true man. I'm going to say Israel's going to knock out Dricus if it does happen. But I'm going Dricus decision. I do think it'll be a close fight, sadly. I would rather say, oh, Dricus is going to flatline Adesanya. It's not going to happen. I like Dricus. I want Dricus to win. I'm rooting for him. I think he will win. I just don't think it'll be by a knockout or anything like that. If someone does get knocked out, Dricus is going to get knocked out. It's not going to be Adesanya. And honestly, this fight's a 50-50 because we don't know how good Dricus really is. We've seen some really bad clips of him, but it's like every fight he's in, he seems to either step it up or really just be underrated. So against Whitaker, huge underdog because his most recent performances were Darren Till and Derek Brunson, I believe. And then it's also against Strickland, it's like, okay, this guy beat Whitaker. He dominated Whitaker. Surely he can handle Strickland. Surely he'd be, a really close fight. People doubted him. I don't know if he was the favorite or not. He might have actually been. I remember it being like a 50-50 fight. But a lot of people still doubted him, saying, oh, Strickland's the new era. DDP's boxing's horrible. DDP, like, there's a bunch of clips of him just getting out-wrestled by Derek Brunson, getting outstruck by, I don't know, fucking Darren Till. It's like, anything bad they can get against DDP, they'll use against him, so it's kind of hard to be like, okay, what is this guy's skill level when all you see is bad clips on Twitter of him? And it's also, he's just a weird fighter. Like, his fight style is weird. It's like Strickland, where it's like, we don't know how good this guy really is because he fights in such an unorthodox way. We can't read it. It's like, you can tell how good Israel is. But that's because you've seen other kickboxers compare to him. No one fights like Dricus. No one fights like Sean Strickland. You can't compare them to other people at the top in terms of their own style, so you don't know how good they really are in terms of their own style. So, the reason I'm thinking Dricus is winning this is because Israel has a very touch and go movement where he'll walk along the fence or he'll try controlling you. You're not going to be able to control Dricus. Dricus is a brawler. If anything, he wants you to try controlling him and just sit in the middle so that he can just push you. I think Israel's going to pull the Sean Strickland approach where he's going to be just walking back against the cage, circling side to side. And another reason is Israel likes doing this thing where he'll just put his back on the cage and do this, and he's just going to let you punch him, look for a counter. Dricus isn't going to do that. I like Dricus because he's smart, and he has a good IQ. Him and his coach, they have good fighting IQs. They have different game plans for every fight. You've seen it. You've seen just how smart they really are, how they take every fight. He's going to take this fight thinking, oh, if Adesanya is like this, I'm not going to punch him like I did Whitaker. I'm not going to finish him against the fence like I did Whitaker. I'm going to take him down because he's giving me the legs. If his arms are up here, he's going to shoot for a double leg and just take him down. I believe Dricus will do that. And I like the chances of Dricus getting that takedown because he's huge. He's really huge. No one gives him credit for that. He's huge. Like, Adesanya's huge. We all know that. They're treating Dricus like he's a fucking Marvin Vettori, bro. Dricus is a lot better in terms of striking, wrestling. I'm pretty sure he's bigger than Vettori. Maybe not muscle, like mass. Maybe not width. But height, he's bigger than Vettori. I mean, in my opinion, Adesanya fights really one-sided matchups, as in, oh, this guy leans more into this, or oh, this guy leans more into this. Like Vettori, no striking, only wrestling. So Adesanya had an easy fight because all he had to worry about was the wrestling. Also, he's kind of, I don't want to say short, but he has a stocky build. A stocky build is not good against Adesanya. We see that. It's more the lengthy people like Alex Pereira and Sean Strickland. Dricus is more stocky. I'll admit that. Dricus is a little more stocky. But the difference that he has between Vettori is he's huge. Like, compared to Vettori, he's fucking huge. So I'm looking to see that. And he's just a mixed martial artist. Like, going back to my original example, Vettori can only wrestle. Alex Pereira can only strike. Cannonier is a good mixed martial artist, but he's scared a lot of times. He's scared to go in. He's really patient. He's just really patient, and Adesanya just ran away with the fight because Cannonier never pushed the pace. Cannonier never had to do anything, and he never felt like he was behind. That's kind of a problem. Dricus has good IQ, good game plan. He knows when to push the pace. He knows when he's behind. He had a good gas tank against Sean Strickland. I don't know if his gas tank is going to be the same. I don't know if his energy is going to be the same, but I'm relying on it to be the same and for him to be consistent. And he's not going to be a retard. He's not going to be Marvin Vettori, where Marvin Vettori thinks he's winning the whole time. So he only shoots like one takedown per round, doesn't even get it, and just holds him against the fence. If Dricus doesn't get the takedown, and he's losing, he's going to be like, okay, I'm losing, I'm not getting this takedown, I'm going to let go, and I'm just going to try striking if I'm beating the shit out of him. I do think Israel can knock him out, like I said. I think it's a 50-50 matchup. I don't think you should bet on this unless you're going Dricus. It's just one of those cases where you don't know how good Dricus really is. And you don't know if Adesanya is going to come back. Adesanya looks huge in this fight. You know, steroids might have something to do with it, considering he has gyno, and he's always had gyno. And he always knocks people out when he has gyno, besides Sean Strickland, because he's the best defensive striker we've probably ever seen. So, you want to bet money on this? Do you, man? I'm going Dricus decision. Full cards the decisions. Look, I know it's a full card decisions, but like, you got to be honest with me. Look at the fucking card, right? Like, let's be honest. None of these fighters are really getting knocked out, and the fighters who can get knocked out aren't fighting people who get knocked out, you know, or who get knockouts. This isn't a fucking Ngannou Alistair Overeem. This is these guys go to decision a lot, or this guy has a lot of power, but this guy's known to have a really good chin. So it's going to be full decisions, in my opinion. We'll get our one maybe fluke knockout or just something good like that. Honestly, I'm fine with a knockout for any of these fights. Yeah, man, like, honestly, it's just going to be decisions. I think this card's built around decisions, and I think people are going to see that, and they're going to be like, oh, mid-card, but it's like, bro, just look at the build-up. Look at who's on the card. These guys are, like, perfectly matched up to where it's going to be majorly or minorly outpointing people, besides the Tai Tui and Rosenstruck fight. It's pretty well, like, it's pretty even stuff, man. The only fights I can think of that really aren't even is, like I said, Tai Tui Rosenstruik or Dricus Israel. But we don't know if that's uneven or not. We don't know that. That's a 50-50 fight because you're going off the basis of, oh, Dricus is worse than this guy, or Israel's maybe just not going to come back the same way he looked. We just don't know. Like, that's the main event. We just don't know. So, like I said, I'm going to go over the fights. Dricus, honestly, I'm going to say 49... 49-46, yeah. I'm going to say 49-46, 4-1 Dricus. I think he's going to take what Adesanya gives. Adesanya gives a lot, but no one takes it because they don't have the skill set or the IQ to take it. I think Dricus, he's going to take it. He's going to back Adesanya up. And when Adesanya voluntarily backs up, does this against the fence, Dricus is just going to make the most of it. He's not going to get caught with hooks because he's not going to be Alex Pereira where he's just striking like a technical boxer. He's going to be a dirty boxer. He's going to literally be inside of you, clinching you, elbowing you, and he's going to put body work on you. He's going to be a dirty boxer, and I think Adesanya kind of struggles with dirty boxers. So yeah, Dricus, 49-46, Kai Kara France versus Steve Erceg. Steve Erceg, 29-28. He's just going to outrange him. He's going to land the cleaner shots. He's going to be faster, in my opinion. And Kai Kara, I don't think he'll know what to do against it. Moving on. Gamrot Dan Hooker. Gamrot's going to, I'm going to say 29-28 again. Or 30-27. I'm probably leaning 30-27 Gamrot. Yeah, 30-27 Gamrot. He's just going to out-wrestle Dan Hooker. There's not much to it. Dan Hooker is good, but Gamrot's an elite level, and he's extremely underrated. His wrestling's really good. It's just Gamrot. It's kind of a layup fight for Gamrot. Tai Tui Rosenstruik. Honestly, this is going to play out the same way I think the Erceg fight is. Tai Tui's just going to walk forward. He's going to gas out. He's just going to keep getting hit in the face. Tai Tui doesn't have that spirit anymore. He doesn't have that, oh, I'm not going to go out. He just doesn't have it anymore. Rosenstruik's just going to piece him up on the feet. Leg kicks. He's going to throw 1-2s. He always does. His foot movement's going to carry him. Tai Tui's going to throw some random overhands. And it's just not going to hit because Jairzinho is one of those actual elite good strikers. Good heavyweight strikers. So, Jairzinho, 30-27. And Carlos Prates versus Leach. I'm leaning 29-28 Prates. Yeah, 29-28 Prates. I think Leach is probably going to take him down one round. It's just going to be a control time round. Prates, for the most part, though, he's going to just defend takedowns if Leach decides to take him down. He's going to 1-2 him. Good leg kicks. Like I said, he's like Lock Dog. I believe that's who it is, Oliveira. Where he's a really good fighter. He's really lengthy. But he knows how to use that lengthiness to his advantage. And I think he's going to do it against Leach. So, 29-28. Like I said, all 5 decisions. It's kind of sad because that's what I see. But I'm sure some people see knockouts. I really hope we see knockouts. But it's going to be a main card of decisions, guys. Like, if I'm right, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, maybe I'm the only one that sees it. And I'm like, oh, this card might be a lot more boring than it looks. Yeah. But if you did enjoy my picks, hopefully y'all can come back to this and be like, oh, this guy was right. I should look at more of his picks and shit. So hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you do. It helps a lot, honestly. And yeah, I really, just a heads up, I am not promoting you to bet. I am not telling you to bet. If you bet, it's on your own free will. Do what picks you believe. I'm just giving my picks. And to be fair, my opinion isn't more valid than yours. It's not like I have a huge reputation of getting a bunch of picks right. Just base stuff off your opinion. If I make you lose money, I mean, it wasn't my money. You willingly gambled it, so fuck it, Like, it is what it is.